Hello. Well, in a previous video I mentioned that I bought some new drills to replace these two little devils. And these are my little Triton drills, and they're a bit worse for wear, and yeah, well, really, they just had a day, really. And I killed one of the batteries because I left this drill out in the rain, and now I've got a dead battery. So that instigated me to be looking out for some new drills, and just as I did, all of a sudden came these vouchers for a store in the France called Super U, and basically what you do is you get 10 vouchers and you buy half price Stanley tools. So that's what I did. But I didn't just buy one, I bought two. I bought two battery drills. Two of these battery drills. And a little 12 volt Stanley battery drills. The model is SCD121. And so far I actually quite like them. I've only used this one so far. Just a little bit of screwing and a little bit of drilling, you know, as you do. And I'm quite happy with it. There's a couple of things I don't like, and we'll get into that, but before we do, if you're most kind, and click like and subscribe, and maybe that little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. So, what I don't like. Well, the thing I don't like is the charger. Now, the charger itself is a bit feeble. Now, it ain't like what I'm used to. I'm used to those big old bulky things that you chuck the battery in the top, and frankly, they just they seem substantial. But this thing, in my mind, is poor, piss poor. In fact, that's my French, but I think it's a little bit rubbish. You got what looks like much more than a mobile phone charger, and this little thing you slide onto the battery. Now, that's the first thing I don't like about it. Is I don't think this is substantial for use, as in for, you know, in the workshop it's fine because you have to set up and that won't be an issue. But if you're on site or something, you've got to back your batteries on charge, this flimsy old lead, that's like the last 5 seconds, is it? So that's not great. But we have to remember one thing, these are sort of semi-professional kind of drills, and they're not high-end stuff, you know. It costs €60, you know, for a drill and 2 batteries, lithium-ion batteries. And the actual drill itself is actually okay. I'm actually quite impressed with it, actually. Especially for that sort of money. It's not, don't get me wrong, it's not a Milwaukee, you know, but it is a good drill. This, though, is not going to last, in my mind. I'll be okay because I'm going to set it in a little box and what have you, and that'll be fine. But the other thing I don't like about it is the way it actually works. Now, I've got a battery here. This is the spare battery that comes with the drill. And there's my charger. Now, I don't know if you see something inherently wrong here. The idea is you put that onto that. Now, that's an interesting idea. It's a bit like putting your cable into your mobile phone, isn't it? But the problem with that is that you've got all that information on there, which tells you the charge state, if the battery's too hot to charge it, so it waits until it cools down before it charges. Oh, what I think about it, it's a 70-minute charge, which isn't too bad. That's okay. It's quicker than I expected out of that. So that was quite impressive, actually. So that's quite. But anyway, my point being is, now with that method, normally when I get my battery, I'm in a bit of a hurry, and whack my screws in, what have you, drilling holes, and I've got to swap the battery over. I go over to my little charging bay over here. I'll show you in that cupboard, and then end cupboard. And then what I do is I then swap them over really quickly, and I'm away again. I'm working again. So that's good. That's quick. But with these things, yeah, it's kind of like, well, you can see it's a bit like a rat on a string or something. But it's not great, and it's a bit slow in my mind. To actually, you can't just have it mounted like so, unless you. I suppose you could, if you're not worried about these indicators, you know, whether it's charged or not. If you're just going to just leave it for an hour or so and just, you know, expect it to be charged, might be fine. You can mount that down somewhere, and then you can just slide the battery in. Not a problem. But this is all a bit of a faff. It's a two-handed job. You don't want it to be a two-handed job. You sort of grab your battery and you slide it in, then walk away. We don't want to be fiddling and farting about. Well, I do anyway, because I'm lazy like that. No fiddling and farting about for me. But let's get back to the drill. So there are 2 things I don't like, and it's all around the charger. The rest of it, actually, I'm quite happy with, actually. Now, it's a usual sort of a format, sort of standard format. It's not like the Tritons, which is a bit like the old, with the battery and the handle, like the old Makitas or the old Hitachis. Remember the old 7.2 volt Hitachis and the Makitas used to get? where the battery was in the handle like so. And it's actually quite comfortable to use, apart from these horrible knobbly bits on it. Now, this one's got the sort of typical kind of battery on the bottom. Now, where I like that is, although it's not as compact, you can stand the drill upright. Just like this whole Hitachi, you can stand them upright. These things are always going to be flopped on their side somewhere, so you haven't got them in a like grab position, whereas that is a grab position. So that's kind of what I like about that format of drill. Torque-wise, it's 26 or 27 Newton meters. And I can't, ow, God, that burns. I can't stop it in my hand very easy, and that's on high. So if I put it on low, it'd be even worse. You can't do it. You've got torque settings on there, so you've got up to 20 torque settings. I never use them, I just do it by feel. Sometimes, in smaller screws, I might put it on sort of high torque setting, and then I'll just judge it just in case. But this is only a 12 volt drill, so the likelihood of it being a huge problem ripping screws out is not quite so, you know, much of a problem, is it? So what I'm going to do is I've got a quick little test just to show you. I'm going to screw into this lump of old oak here, and I've been playing about with it already with my Tritons. So we'll just whack some screws into this and just see how it goes. So let's get a relatively fresh screwdriver bit. And these are just torque bits. They're not torque, I mean they're the torque drivers in a screw. Now this is a 2.5 inch or 60mm screw. These are the self-drilling type screws, so they've got the flange on them, so they're better in oak and what have you. But let's say so like, let's put it on high. Start on the high and work our way down, if need be. Now that's on high. Put that in the vice, shouldn't I, really? But yeah, that whacked that in no trouble at all. Let's have a look in the Douglas. Yeah, it doesn't care, does it? So now I'm going to try a big screw. This big old thing. Now this is a bit ridiculous really, trying with this, because it's only a 12 volt drill. You wouldn't screws like that in with a 12 volt drill, would you really? That'd be a bit daft. But we're going to do it anyway, because I'm like that. So let's just whack PZ3 in, because that's what the head is. And we'll try and put it into this bit of a... Okay, we'll put it in a vice. That might make more sense. My old record voice. I've had this thing donkey's years. That's as old when I got it. Right. See what happens, shall we? I'm on high at the moment. I'm pulsing it down, so what that's doing is it's, because there's a lot of pressure there, it's dropping the bit back into the head of the screw every time I pulse it. So that's on high, not bad at all. So let's do it on low. Put it on low when you do big screws like that, actually burn them out if you're not careful. This is now on low, so low gear. Well, I certainly don't care with the Douglas. I'll whack that in there, no trouble. That was pretty impressive. So let's try it with that bit of oak. I'm not quite so hopeful with that, because that is a quite hard old bit of oak, and quite frankly, a 12 volt drill, big old screws like that, number 12s, well, I don't think it's going to do it, but let's see. It might do it. Right, fresh hole. And normally it's pilot, well I would anyway, pilot hole, something like this. Right, I'm on low. Let's put on high first. Now I've got started. It's pulsing. Now, matter of interest, I will try that on high again, but this time I'm going to put a bit of wax on it. See if that makes a difference. It should do. Just to lubricate the screw. Now, often what I often do, I use a PTFE spray, and if I've got those screws in the box, I'll literally spray the whole box of screws. And then if you've got a load of oak flooring or whack them through into, that just makes life a lot easier. A hell of a lot easier. So let's try a bit of wax on this, see if it makes a difference. I'm on high again. See what happens. And that's on with a waxed screw. Well, that definitely went in easier, but stop now. Don't want to go any further. So now I'm going to put it onto low. That did it, that certainly created some friction, you can see that. That's the wax melting. Drip, 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 drip. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, so yeah, it did it. I was quite impressed with that, that's quite cool. So, put it over there before I burn myself. So the little drill seems to work quite well. Obviously, if you are be whacking massive screws like that, and you use something a bit more, a bit more meaty, wouldn't you? It's not what it's designed for. But if you're a kitchen fit or whatever, this is kind of all you really need. Really, you're getting in underneath you. It's relatively short, which is quite good. It's not as short as like this little chock impact driver, but it's still pretty short, and it's probably not as short as this Triton with the chuck remove. Not quite, not far off it, but it's actually a really handy sized drill, and I like these sort of drills like this because they're really useful. You can get into all the little nooks and crannies with them. They're good little things. Now, if I can find a link, I'll put one in the description, and this drill comes, I'll show you. That's quick unboxing. 1x12 volt drill, and apparently it's explosive. That's because it's got lithium batteries in it, and they can blow up on you, apparently. Yeah, I've never witnessed that. So it comes in the old poly bag. So you get your battery drill in there, you get your spare battery in there, and then you get your charger. That's all you get, and a manual. And in the manual, which in this case is in English and in French, but obviously it'll be different for your country, unless you're English and French. So yeah, it's a 12 volt drill. It's got a 70-minute charge, 27 Newton meter, I think it is. Sorry, 26 Newton meters of torque on the 12 volt max drill, and vibration ratio. You don't need all that. That's pretty quiet, as you probably heard. Yeah, that's it. And this particular one's a 230 volt. Obviously, it depends on your country. All they do is change the charger over. Now, the rest of it is just baloney. So, yeah, it's all about attention this and attention that. Don't drill for your knee or your hands. So, yeah, that's quite good. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Anyway, it's €60, which is cheap as chips. Definitely worth a stab at. Remembering that was with the vouchers. So for you might find that it might be 120 €120 for the drill. But if you are in a position to get the vouchers, get the vouchers. And save yourself 50%. Yeah, 60 odd euros in this case. So I don't know if this Stanley drills, if these are actually available in the States and what have you, but they're certainly getting popular, or have been popular in Europe. But it's Stanley Black & Decker now. Remember that. It was bought out. It's no longer the Stanley Tool Company. It's Stanley Black & Decker, which is a bit of a shame, I know. But there you go. C'est la vie. The times that we live in, we just have to put up with it. Or if you have to find brands that probably cost a darn sight more, made by companies that we have more respect for. I'm not keen on Black & Decker, as you probably noticed. Anyway, thanks for watching. And don't forget, like and subscribe.